Welcome to Mimesis, the podcast about all the twisted ways that art and life imitate each other. I'm Sandra Sheriff-Zackerley.
And I'm Stacey Rourke.
And we are your hosts on this zany adventure.
You're laughing at your own name. What just happened there?
I thought I messed up, but I was like, I'm just going to keep going with it.
I don't think you did. I think you did it right.
I think so.
We're both punchy. It happens.
We are.
How are you? Are you good?
I think so. I had quite a scare the Monday.
What's that?
I thought Evan had chicken pox.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you had to take him to the doctor.
Yeah, he just had contact dermatitis, like a reaction to something. We just don't know exactly what it was.
Okay, but is it getting better?
It's getting better.
Okay.
He has no new spots as of yesterday.
That's good.
Yeah, but it's still scary.
It is. When you don't know. Have you had the chicken pox?
I did.
Okay. Has Scott?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, because I know the chicken pox are actually way worse for adults than they are for kids.
Yes.
So
it's better if they get them when they're younger.
I don't. They do a chicken pox vaccine now, don't they?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I had a chicken pox vaccine when I was younger.
I just had the chicken pox,
and I still got them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember I'm at the age where when one of your friends got chicken pox, your mom would go make sure that you played with them. So you just went ahead and got the
same.
pox.
Same. Yeah. Chicken pox parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're also at the age that we can start getting shingles now.
Oh, no. Those are horrible.
Yeah. Nicole just had shingles. Sorry, Nicole.
Oh, which Nicole?
Nicole in California.
Okay. I miss her.
I do too.
I miss her. Nicole, if you're listening, I miss you. How you doing? You doing it good? We miss you. We need to have a girls' weekend of like all getting together in somewhere and hanging out.
I was looking. Okay, so this is where I got like really, really mad the other day as I was looking up flights because I booked my flight to come see you and to go to our work thing in August.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I need to go see Nicole. So I was looking up flights and I was like, $600 for a weekend? That's so ridiculous.
That's so
like
expensive.
The last time I flew out there, I only spent $175.
Oh.
So then I was just like randomly searching for, I can't even remember, but somehow I looked up Denmark tickets and I found that each of us could fly to Denmark for $300 a piece.
Well, I guess
so
that's just
total.
some sort of sign.
I was like, we can meet in Denmark. Just each of us fly there and we're golden. And spend less money.
Look at all the money we're saving.
Right. And going to a foreign country that neither of us have been to.
There you go. Weird, but okay.
Yeah. And then we have a friend whose parents live in Denmark, so we'd have a place to stay.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
Yeah. So I was like, we need to just do it.
Did you talk to her about it?
I did.
She was like, what?
She's like, okay. But we haven't planned anything yet.
You should. That would be cool.
Yes.
I have.
How are you?
What?
I said, how are you?
I am a ball of raw emotion right now.
Yeah.
For those that may not follow me on social media, the book event that we have talked about many times on here, Once Upon a Book.
Yes.
We found out that the venue that we've been holding it at this entire time is raising their prices
by a lot,
like 45% in some areas, because they're doing renovations in the hotel, and they have their own inflation stuff that they're dealing with. We all do.
Yes.
So they raised their prices.
Everywhere has inflation.
Yeah. But that meant that for Once Upon a Book, in order for us to continue with the event beyond this year, that I was going to have to raise my prices by 45%. And I can't in good conscience do that. So we made the announcement yesterday that this will be the last year of Michigan Once Upon a Book.
Yes.
And I spent pretty much all day yesterday crying.
Your post was lovely and made me bawl my eyes out. I sent you a picture.
Well, the funny thing was when I started writing it, I was in all professional mindset. I was like very goal oriented when I started. I was like, this is what I need to say. I had made a list of the points I needed to make to get all the information out, and I was making it. And somewhere in the middle of that, logic shifted over to emotion, and then I just ugly cried the remainder of the time that I was writing it. So, but I do want to say for anybody that's listening to this that has questions about Once Upon a Book or has posted suggestions about Once Upon a Book, first of all, I appreciate you all for how much you support the event and the love that you have for it. I truly appreciate that. One thing and I know this is going to be hard for some people to hear, but if Once Upon a Book continues, and there is talk that it could, it will not be in Michigan.
No.
It will be in Florida. And the reason for that, I am the host of the event. I am the founder of the entire thing.
Yes.
And I live in Florida.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they have volunteered to help. They've volunteered to help me find other places in Michigan. They've asked, can't one of your volunteers do it? My volunteers are amazing. Sandra is one of them. My volunteers are amazing, and they go above and beyond every year. But since I moved, I have had to ask more of them every single year because things that I did before I moved, I couldn't necessarily do anymore. So I've already been asking so much of my volunteers. And now let me preface this. I know damn well if I asked them, they'd do it. Okay?
Absolutely.
I know they would. And it would be done, and it would be done right. But when you're the founder of something, when something is your project, there has to come a point where you go, I can't keep putting this on other people. This is mine. And I'm asking more of them and more. So I can't do that. So if the event continues, the event will continue in Florida, where I am, so that I can bear the brunt of it myself as the founder, as it should be. And I still have my amazing volunteers that, will be involved, but I won't be asking more of them than I should be. So there's been people that you have to delegate. I have delegated, and I've delegated a lot.
Absolutely, you have.
Which for a Virgo is not easy to do in the first place.
No, I have to be like, okay, Stacey, let's go. Give me something to do.
And I think I've gotten better about it.
I've
been like, I can't do everything. Please, just even if it's like yesterday, I need you to put together a Google form for me because I have 6,000 things going at once. Please just put this form together. Here's what I needed to say. Just put it together. Yep. And she does. So I have delegated, but again, when it's your thing.
There's only so much that you can delegate.
Yeah.
Because it is yours and you want it to have your touch on it. That's what everybody says when they come to the event is, Stacey, you put on an amazing thing. And that's because you create everything and you just have us do the work for you.
And then there's other people that have said, well, maybe you can have somebody else take it over.
No,
I can't. I'm sorry, you guys. This is my brand. This is my baby. Once Upon a Book has spawned into Once Upon a Podcast Network.
Yes.
It's my brand and it's my baby, and I can't hand it over. I'm sorry.
No.
So Once Upon a Book will stay with me, and if there's a Florida chapter, which we've already started talking about it a little bit. Mm-hmm. There's been inklings. It'll be in Florida. So I'm really sorry if you want to attend it. You're just going to have to go to one of the top vacation destinations in the United States. I'm really sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
You'll have to go in the warm.
I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to come to where the palm trees are.
I'm okay with that. I'll come to the palm trees.
Yeah. So anyways, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. It's rough, but we'll make it through. This event this year is going to be amazing, and we will make the best of it.
Yep. We're going to have lots of fun.
Yeah.
And we have the perfect theme. It's Friends themed this year, and it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The motto has always been your literary tribe will be there for you. And I think
that's
this year
so fitting right now.
It's so perfect. It's so perfect. Yep. So, yeah. And that's in the words of Forrest Gump, and that's all I have to say about that.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yes. So, Miss Sandra, what are we talking about today?
We are going deep. Deep into the life of King Henry VIII.
Yes.
With the movie, The Other Boleyn Girl.
I am so here for this. Yes.
I happened to be like scrolling through Netflix and it popped up and I was like, I'm watching it. And that's what I'm doing. I
have not watched it. Was it amazing?
I have seen this movie like 15 times, I swear.
See, I watched the Tudors with...
The Tudors is good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so good.
Okay. So this came out in 2008, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So right when I was in college. Right, like this is before Tudors came out, I believe.
Okay.
And
Tudors was kind of Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because there was lots of sex and lots of intrigue and yeah.
There was sex in there. But this had a lot of actors and actresses that I just adored so much that's why I watched it so much.
Who all was in it?
Eric Bana.
Okay, he's fantastic.
Scarlett Johansson.
Love her.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I can never say his name right. Good for you.
Natalie Portman.
Awesome.
David Morrissey.
I do not know who that is. I'm sure I would know him if I saw him.
I think you would. Mark Rylance. I think that's how you say his name. Jim Sturgis.
You said that like Jim that was a Sturgis. Big deal. Who's Jim Sturgis?
He was. Okay, do you remember the movie Across the Universe?
If I say no, are you going to judge me?
You're breaking my heart.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm Googling him. Just a minute.
Do you remember the poker movie? I think it was like 21. I love Jim Sturgis. Like, he was everything for me in college.
Okay, I am looking at this person, and I'm not sure I've ever seen him in anything in my entire life. Oh, wait. He does look familiar.
He's got the greatest singing voice. I
don't know who this person is.
Oh, I'm going to have to introduce you to all the movies.
Okay, when was he while you were in college, he was like super famous?
Like high school. Yeah, high school, college, yeah.
Okay,
so when I was graduating.
All right, so also right when I was having babies. So we remember
right when you had a baby. Yeah.
This is the time in my life when TV and movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it wasn't VeggieTales or Disney, I did not watch it during this time period.
Very true. But I loved him so much.
Okay.
And so that's what made me love this movie. So I've watched it so many times.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot here. And we'll dive into it. Not even we're just going to scratch the surface.
Because we could go on literally forever.
There is so much. I mean, he had 6 wives.
Yeah.
And we're only talking about one of his wives here.
We need to do a deep dive into the Tudors at some point and compare that with reality.
Okay. I'll watch that show again.
Oh, by the way, before we get into this, I've been mentioning on the show here that my kids and I have been watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We finished it.
Okay.
Arya's dagger flip.
Yeah.
I have never seen my kids react to anything like that. I mean, like, Madeline came off the couch. She was just like, it was the coolest thing. They were like screaming for her. However, they are in mourning now because they have finished every episode. And I've been telling them, well, there's House of Dragon, the prequel series, and I can't get them to start it because they're still in mourning for the original.
They have a hangover.
They do.
Hangover.
They're just like, I can't. So do you know what they've been watching since we finished Game of Thrones?
What?
The Muppets.
I was going to say VeggieTales.
The Muppets. We've been watching the Muppets every night.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So
you said you haven't seen this movie.
I have not seen it. I watched The Tudors. I have not seen The Other Boleyn Girl.
Okay. So this movie starts with King Henry VIII, who's played by Eric Bana, and his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, and showing that she has failed to produce another child, like a living male heir.
Okay.
She had already had their daughter, Princess Mary.
Mm-hmm. And
So
he lost
then-
interest because she had not made a boy.
Right.
Even though it's the guy that decides the sex of the baby, but whatever.
Right.
They don't
He had a
decide,
lot
but
of-
their sperm decides.
He had a lot of kids, and a lot of them were girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we're looking at the Boleyn family.
Okay.
Because that's like the scene is her having a miscarriage, so then they are a stillborn or something, and so then they like move on to the Boleyn family. So Mary Boleyn is played by Scarlett Johansson, and she marries William Carey Benedict Cumberbatch, and he is the son of a minor nobleman.
Okay.
So Mary's uncle, Thomas Howard, Duke of Norfolk, and her father, Thomas Boleyn, plot to install Mary's older sister, Anne, who is played by Natalie Portman, as the king's mistress, hoping she will bear him a son and improve the family's wealth.
Yeah.
And status. Like, come on, people. Really?
That's what they did back then, man. There was so much scheming and, well, if we married her to there and,
So much scheming from everybody.
Yeah. This is what they did before the internet.
Just played with people's lives.
Yeah.
Ugh. Like the way that they scheme and do this, like it like really makes me think, like, is this how it really happened?
Some of that shit was.
Like, it's kind of gross
Yeah.
to talk about, like, because they show them as like really young kids.
Oh.
And it's like, they didn't talk about marrying them. Like, they talked about marrying them off, but not like who they were going to do, like marry them off to. Just, I hope that they grow up to have like good marriages and well fortune and whatnot. But it's like, let them be kids.
Yeah, they didn't do that. They
No.
didn't do that. Well, and the age that they married him off back then was so much younger than it is now.
14?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ugh. No.
Yeah.
No.
My kids would both be married at this point.
Yeah, my daughter would be married in a year.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-mm. No. I don't like that.
No. So they hope that she will bear him a son. The girl's mother, Lady Elizabeth, completely disapproves. But Anne accepts the task after Norfolk promises that being the king's mistress will lead her to marriage with a high-ranking nobleman.
No. No.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works. Actually, that would really work against you.
Right?
Big
But
time.
I guess back then that kind of worked.
Okay. I know.
No. So while visiting the Boleyn estate, King Harry is injured in a hunting accident caused by Anne's recklessness.
Oh.
So Henry becomes smitten with Mary because Norfolk makes her go tend to his wounds.
Okay.
So now Mary has caught the king's eye.
I think the king really just wanted to spread it around.
Yes. So the king invites Mary, her husband, and the Boleyn family to court. They accept, knowing what is expected. Mary and Anne become ladies-in-waiting to the aging Queen Catherine, and Mary begins a passion affair with the king and finds herself falling in love with him. All the while, William Carey is sent abroad on an assignment.
William Carey's her husband?
So he's out of the picture.
And the king is the one that sent him away?
Yes.
Of course
because he's nobleman. He's in the court. So he's like, just take him away.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where Mary finds that she's falling in love with him.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So in real life, because you know that he marries Anne Boleyn.
We all know that.
In real life, I found that Mary really did have a relationship with the king, but it was more so that she just had a relationship with everybody.
Oh. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So she really did hook up with the king before her sister married him.
Yeah.
But yes. she was spreading the wealth. She was not.
She was spreading the wealth.
Oh.
With everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Mary. We're not going to slut shame on this show, but girl, get you some. I guess.
Yeah.
She's not 15 anymore, is she?
That's the thing. I couldn't find ages, but she was young.
Oh, no.
Because she died in like her 40s.
Okay. That's
She
a
had
young,
2
crisp
kids.
age. So it's the 40-year-old.
She had 2 kids. And it's said, like, we know that King Henry had a son by an illegitimate, like, a bastard, pretty much.
Okay.
And, like, then he was given, like, the high ranking but never became king, I don't think. That's where Anne Boleyn's daughter actually became Queen Elizabeth I.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it could have been Mary that had a son with him?
Yeah. He had many kids with many women.
Do you think he ever got pissed at himself when one was a boy and he was like, damn it?
Possibly. But that's kind of what they show in this movie is that I'll finish reading. They start having an affair. Anne secretly marries Henry Percy, a nobleman who was already betrothed to Lady Mary Talbot. Anne reveals the marriage to her brother, George, who's Jim Sturgis, who informs Mary. Mary went to the king and told him, and then they, like, annulled it, keeping it complete secret. Like,
okay,
you can't do that.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
Yeah.
Am I going to be, like, spoiling shit if I mention now the rumor about Anne and her brother?
Oh, I'll get.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in my notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Mary became pregnant with Henry's child. The king rewards the Boleyn family by giving them new titles, estates, finer living quarters, paying off their debt, and George had to become betrothed to Jane Parker, who he completely does not like. He did not want to marry her.
Okay. So he was like an OG sugar daddy.
The king?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. When Mary experiences complications in her pregnancy, she is confined to bed until her child is born. So their uncle, Norfolk, recalls Anne because Anne was banished for getting married.
Okay.
And, like, so she was shunned. They were going to go live in France. And that's where Mary and her were for some point. Like, that's where the timelines kind of get a little confusing. And I need more time to, like, deep dive to figure that out. Because that's where Mary was, like, spreading the wealth was in France.
So she's do we know for sure that the baby she was pregnant with was the king's?
No, we don't know for sure. It's said to be William's, but it's very possibly it could have been the king's.
Okay, or somebody else's.
Or somebody else's. The King of France, too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
She diddled numerous kings.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
She has a type.
Yeah.
They have a penis.
Well, I mean, when
That's
you're in
pretty
high
much her
court,
type.
yeah.
Yeah, you're in high court and you're just trying to...
Yeah, and they send you to places.
She was networking.
Yes.
In the dirtiest possible way.
Yes.
By the way, when we go to DragonCon to network, this is not what I mean. I just want you to know.
No, I have a husband that I love very much.
So did Mary. Just going to say it right now. This is not the kind of networking that we're doing.
No, not at all.
No.
No, I'm like really legit no. I'm not that type of person.
No, please.
Okay. So she's confined to bed. So Norfolk brings back Anne. And it's to distract him so that he doesn't go seeking another mistress.
Oh, Jesus. Because they want to keep it in the Boleyn family.
Yes. They want to make sure that, like, they thought that Anne had grown up and that she could keep and just talk about Mary and make sure that he still loved Mary and that he would.
That's not what Anne was doing.
That's not what Anne was doing. Resentful.
Anne was like, hey, boo, hey.
Yeah. She's resentful that Mary had taken him from her the first time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Anne, she's completely like, nope, I'm going to beguile Henry.
Yeah.
So Anne refuses Henry's advances unless he no longer beds his wife and stops speaking to Mary.
Okay. So she's putting on her prettiest gowns. She's having the hair done. She's looking her best and she's like, earn me.
Yes.
Earn me. Yes. Okay.
Like flirting and just like I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Teasing him.
Okay, go off, Anne.
Thomas and Norfolk are thrilled when Mary gives birth to a son. Anne, however, informs Henry that the baby boy is illegitimate, therefore he will not inherit the throne.
Yes.
This leads Henry to rejecting Mary and thus does not recognize his child as his own son.
Oh.
She, got in his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, some of the research that they were flirting through, what was it called? The book. I closed out the freaking thing. It was some kind of prayer book, almost like a Bible, but not a Bible. And they were writing things to each other.
In the Lord's book?
Yeah. Because that's your private prayer time. And he, they both wrote things to each other. And he wrote his in French and she wrote something. And there was a translation. Yeah. I'll have to find it and send you it.
Okay, but why do I kind of have mad respect for Anne? Because she's got game. She's not spreading the wealth everywhere like her sister was or like the king is. She's like, I'm gonna make you want it so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a little respect there for her.
Yes, and that's you hate her. They do a so good job of making you like Mary, but then also disliking Mary because she doesn't really do anything wrong to get the king's attention. She's just doing what was told. Go tend to the king's wounds. And he fell for her. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, well, you just betrayed your sister.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Yeah.
And then they do
But when we put the history with it, we know that, if she was diddling that many men, she wasn't just being innocent and sweet. Girlfriend was...
And that's where the movie does not show you the real Mary.
Yeah.
They just show you an image that they want you to see in the movie.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
they do such a good job with Anne to show her devious and like how she was like taunting and teasing and wanting him to be with her.
Yeah. Well, they did
So
that in
then
the
you feel-
Tudors too. In the Tudors, it was the same thing, that she was
Yeah.
like not giving it up right away and like making him want it more.
Yes. So the fact that he disowned his son, this infuriates their uncle until Anne reveals her intent to become queen and bear the king of a legitimate son. A heartbroken Mary and her child are exiled to the countryside. Mary is then widowed after her husband dies from an illness.
Okay.
Anne begins a campaign by pursuing Henry and breaking from the Catholic Church when the Pope refuses to annul his marriage to Queen Catherine.
Oh,
Like, he really broke church with the Pope of Rome
that's huge.
to become the head of his own church.
Yeah, that's
And
huge.
She did that.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was like, we're just going to break religion so that we can be together.
Yeah. Henry learns some rumors of Anne's previous consummation or consummation to Henry Percy. Mary is brought back to court where Henry demands answers about the rumors, and Mary assures him that the rumors are false, and she decides to stay at Anne's urging. Like, as much as her sister hurt her, she still stuck up for her sister.
Yeah. Okay. Good for
Yeah.
her. Did that really happen, though?
Huh?
Did that really happen?
I don't think so.
Yeah. That was just in the movie.
That was just in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henry declares himself the supreme head of the Church of England, orders Cardinal Thomas Wolsey. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't know if that was right, but it was fun.
Wolsey, Wolsey.
Woo,
To annul his marriage and banish Queen Catherine from court. When Anne refuses to consummate the relationship until they're married, Henry, overcome with rage and lust, rapes her.
That didn't happen, did it?
I don't know. I didn't find anything like that. But she was pregnant before her coronation. But I don't know if she was pregnant before their marriage.
Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and hope that that wasn't what happened. However, with him being the kind of person he was, there's a very good chance that it did.
Yes. Henry, overcome with rage and lust, rapes her. While deeply traumatized by the assault, and now pregnant Anne marries Henry and becomes the new Queen of England. Despite the birth of a healthy daughter, Elizabeth, Henry is disappointed that Anne failed.
That's a fun word.
Failed to produce a male heir, and begins to see Jane Seymour in secret,
Because he's an asshole.
which she was his third wife. As queen, Anne is greatly hated by the public, who announce her as a witch. Like, they want her gone.
Yeah.
And she begins to have bouts of paranoia as her marriage to Henry starts to crumble.
As one would, I think.
Yes.
Especially when everyone's like, you could call a witch now and you're like, okay, whatever. You could call the witch back then. And that's something to be very concerned about. That's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get burned at the stake just because somebody said that.
Yeah. Well, it's Henry, like, I think it was that Henry said he thought she was a witch. That's the whole reason why he, like, for treason, that he got her murdered, is she put a spell on me to make me fall in love with her.
Yeah, that's what she did. I'm sure that's what she did.
Yeah. No, she had you by your fucking balls, dude.
Yeah. You wanted to tap that so badly because she did not give you what everybody else was just throwing your way.
Right.
And it was the first time someone made him work for it.
Yep.
That's not witchcraft. That's being clever.
Yeah. That's being confident in yourself.
That's right.
Yeah. So after miscarrying a son, Anne fears for her life and desperately begs George to impregnate her. George is her brother.
Oh, no.
So after miscarrying a son, Anne fears for her life and desperately begs George, her brother, to impregnate her.
That seems kind of a rash move.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're so paranoid that he is going to kill you, throw you away, if you really do love him, you might do anything to try and...
I don't think I'd ask my brother. I think
no,
maybe
no.
like any other guy ever, but not your brother. Like,
Not your brother.
like Joe down at the trading hut. Like, I don't...
Trading hut.
I don't fucking know.
Right.
The blacksmith that's coming to trim the horse's hooves, or the guy that's delivering the chickens. I don't know, but not my brother.
Not your brother.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. He initially agrees, wanting to save Anne and their entire family, but is unable to go through with it.
That's your sister.
So I think that's where, like, I didn't see any of those rumors, like, in my research. But there had to have been something.
Yeah.
Because she was so fearful. And the fact that he also was killed.
Yeah.
There had to have been something.
Even if it was whispers. Because,
Right.
people whisper. People say shit.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's, we were talking about witchcraft earlier. It's the same thing. Somebody says something like that, and then the rumors escalate until it gets completely out of control, and then everybody loses their head.
Right. And that's like, they don't let just anybody go into your room. Like, they keep tabs on those, but like your family, they didn't like watch.
Okay.
So it'd be easy to like those rumors to be true because nobody's watching your family be in the room.
Okay. So they're like,
You know what I'm saying?
she's trying to convince somebody to impregnate her. Who's going into her room? Just her family and her brother. Yeah.
Right.
Gross. But okay. Yeah.
Yeah. In the movie, unbeknownst to them, George's neglected wife, Jane, is spying on Anne for Norfolk and reports her suspicions to both him and the king.
Fuck you, Jane.
Yep.
Who played Jane in this one?
I
I want to see who it was on the Tudors. You look it up on yours, I'll look it up on mine.
It's not Jane Seymour. It was Jane Parker. That was George's wife.
Jane Parker, King. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Jane Boleyn. Oh.
Yeah, because she would have married George.
Okay.
She was played by... Oh, he's so good looking. Sorry. Juno Temple?
I don't know who that is. Mm-mm.
I don't know her.
Oh, I looked her up on the Tudors. She was very pretty on there.
Anne and George are arrested on charges of incest, adultery, and treason. Despite lacking physical evidence, the court, with Norfolk in attendance, find both guilty and sentence them to death. Lady Elizabeth, who was the mother of George and Anne, becomes so distraught over the news and denounces her husband and brother, vowing to never forgive them for their greed, what it did to their kids.
Okay.
Because it was the men. It was her husband and her brother that decided that this is how the family was going to happen.
Yeah, that they were going to work
Yeah.
their way up using their children. Using their children.
Yes.
That's what they were doing. And that's what so many people did back then. Their kids were like, oh, we can marry this one to this one and strengthen this family and do this. And that's so...
Yeah.
But that was what they did back then.
A lot of wedding traditions are not very good if you look look into them.
Yeah. Like what? Do you have an example?
Like the father giving the bride away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're legit giving them away.
Yeah.
And then money in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just a bunch. So Mary rushes back to London, but arrives too late to save George, who is beheaded. Mary begs King Henry for Anne's life and believes her sister will be spared, as he says he wishes not to hurt her any further. The two sisters truly reconcile, and Anne asks Mary to look after Elizabeth if anything should happen to her. It said, like, in the research that they don't know the whereabouts of where Mary really was at this time.
Okay, so this is all
Yeah.
Hollywoodized.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like, there's no traces of her. Like, in the movie, it says that Elizabeth is taken care of by Mary, which I think was the case, but I can't remember exactly for sure. So, as Anne gives her final speech, a message from Henry is delivered to Mary. He urges her not to return to court and reveals that Anne will be executed as arranged. After Anne's execution, Mary leaves with the toddler Elizabeth, taking her to her home in the country. A epilogue reveals that Thomas Boleyn died 2 years after Anne and George's executions, while Norfolk was imprisoned.
Okay.
And the next 3 generations of the Howard family were executed for treason.
The next 3 generations?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mary later widowed because her husband died.
Yeah.
And married another man named William, but Stafford, and lived out her days away from the court with her children and her niece. Elizabeth went on to rule England over 40 years as queen.
I don't feel like she was with her aunt. Like, she came back to court at some point.
Yeah.
But I think she was a young woman by the time she came back.
Yeah. So, also, I meant to mention above when they showed the hunting accident.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hunting accident. He went to Greenwich in January of 1536, and it's while he was married to Anne, and he had a jousting accident.
Okay, so that part is completely fictionalized.
Yeah.
So when he hooked up
But
with Mary,
did
he
have
just
an accident.
hooked up with Mary, but he was already with Anne.
No, I think he hooked up with Mary before he was with Anne.
Okay.
But the whole, like, how they met was not, like,
It
how
wasn't
they met.
her tending to his wounds.
Yeah, no.
Okay. It was more like, how you doing? Okay, how you doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Anne, like, grew up and then went to the court and then was like, oh, new toy.
You've shagged my sister. Awesome. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much of an age difference was there between Mary and Anne?
A few years, because they don't have the exact date of birth.
Okay.
They have, like, the rough couple years. I know.
Can I do that?
Right? But the accident is a big thing for Henry, because previously he had a jousting accident that gave him, like, varicose vein ulcer things.
Yes.
And so this accident, he had a severe concussion and burst of varicose ulcer on his left leg from an earlier injury. And these ulcers now appeared on both legs and caused him incredible pain. And he never healed from that and had constant infections as a result.
Yeah.
So he was, I think they said, a size 32 waist and, like, kind of fit. But by the time he died, he went to a 52 waist and was almost like his armor was just, like, huge.
Because he couldn't move.
Right, because of his legs were in so much pain, so he just kept eating.
Yeah, and I remember in the Tudors, they showed that, like, standing for long periods of time, and he couldn't do that. It hurt.
Yeah, yeah. And they, like, had to, like, cauterize his legs.
Oh,
because of these ulcers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
Like, I am very thankful for modern medicine.
Girl, yes.
Even though, as much as I hate insurance companies, I hate doctors, I still like that we have modern medicine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. I also like what happened since COVID, that now you can do, like, the virtual doctor's appointments.
Yes, but that might be ending.
Don't say things like that to me. It's mean.
I'm sorry. It could be ending as soon as tomorrow. Love you. Sorry.
You're so mean to me.
I know.
My book event's ending. Don't say things like that to me.
I'm
How long
sorry.
can I use that excuse?
It's mainly depending on what your insurance company says
Really?
about telehealth. Yeah.
Okay. I should look into that.
Yes. But I mean, I can keep going and going and going on all of this stuff. Like, I have 32 pages of
I
research
love that so much.
I really haven't went through.
Yeah. We can do another
Because
one
there's
if you
just
want.
so much.
Do we need to do a part 2 of this?
Only if people want to. I got like most of the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you heard her. If you want to hear a little bit more, let us know. We can also compare this to the Tudors. See, like,
We can.
because I have.
And the Broadway show.
Dude, I haven't seen it yet, and I want to so badly.
I do too. I really want to see it. Should we go?
I think we need to go.
Okay.
Let's go to New York
Where?
and see it.
I've never been to New York, please.
I haven't been to New York either. We should go for my birthday.
I'll already be done with you on your birthday.
See, we just need to make our trip longer. Will you be? You'll still be here on the 13th?
No, I leave the 7th.
I mean, you don't have to. We could just.
I'll already be with you for 10 days.
But you won't be with me in New York.
I know. Should we just leave from Atlanta to New York to home?
Let's not tell our husbands or our kids. Let's just run away to New York for a minute. No, I'm kidding.
I'm okay
Don't
with
do that. I'm already a
Why
flight
not?
risk. They worry about me.
Me too. Yeah.
But seriously, if you're listening to this and you want to hear a little bit more, because I think we're closing in right around our time limit.
Yeah.
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 If you want to hear more, let us know. We can go into more detail. We can keep talking about this.
Absolutely.
We can.
Absolutely. There's so much. So much. Because there's still the Catherine of Aragon. There's like Queen Elizabeth. There's, I mean, we can even go more in depth of Jane Seymour.
Yes.
Like, there are so many.
There's so much we can do. So if you want us to do more, or if you want us to do the Broadway musical, you want us to do the Tudors, whatever you want, let us know. And we'll research it more, or we'll just research it more because we want to, because it's really freaking fascinating. Also, a little side note that our listeners don't know is that Miss Sandra, where she got married, there was a stained glass window of King Henry and Queen Elizabeth. Do you remember?
There was.
There was.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, there was.
There was. And I was like, that's weird because they're father and daughter. But okay, whatever. Because they were right next to each other to make it look like a couple. But I was like, that's father and daughter right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You totally forgot about that, didn't you?
I did. There was so much going on.
Yeah, that's true.
So much.
There was fairy godmothers. There was wedding drama. Somebody broke your cake topper. I don't know who broke your fucking cake topper, who that dumbass was.
I have no idea who that was. The lady with the red hair.
It was me.
Yeah. But you were like so worried I was going to go bridezilla on you. And I was like, oh, okay.
I was just trying to bend it a little bit. She had cupcakes, like a cupcake tower. And I was just trying to bend it a little bit so it would fit in the two cupcake towers. And that sumbitch just snapped right in my hands so easily. And I came back and I was like, listen, don't be mad. I broke your cake topper. And it's the thing that said like Mr. and Mrs. So like it's kind of a big deal. But she was very cool about it.
I was like, okay.
I think we tried
Will it stand up in there?
We tried to glue it, didn't we?
No, I think we just like
okay.
Stuffed in there somehow.
I think we tried to glue it and it didn't work. So we like chucked it. But yeah. Somebody She-Hulked it and broke it.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yep.
I still love you.
Thank you.
I think that's all I got. So,
well, that's all we got for today, unless our listeners
Yeah.
want to hear a part 2, and then we can continue on.
absolutely.
Yeah. So you let us know. I'm going to start researching mine because I just finished my latest book, Jaws of Death. So
Yay, I can't wait to read it.
I hope
I'm
it
so
doesn't suck.
excited. Your books never suck.
Okay, that's my thought whenever I finish one. I hope it doesn't suck. But I
know.
now
I know you say that every time. I'm like, it's not going to.
I worry. But I'm going to start researching for my next episode.
Are you going to tell us?
I'm going to tell you. It's going to be the Winchester Mystery House compared to The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer by Stephen King, which was based...
I loved that movie.
It was based on the Winchester Mystery House. So we're going to compare those two stories and everything that goes into that. And
Is the Winchester House like a show or
the Winchester House is an actual place.
I know that, but didn't they just like make a show or something? Or am I
No,
thinking
you're
of something
thinking
completely
of
different?
the Winchesters, which is a spin-off of the show Supernatural.
That's right. Okay,
It has
I was
nothing
getting
whatsoever to do with
confused.
this except for the name
Okay.
Winchester.
Okay,
But so there's a lot, and I'm very excited about it.
I loved. Wasn't it called like Rose Red or something? There was like a show.
There was a series called Rose Red.
Yes,
But they also, Stephen King wrote a book, The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer, which is what I'm going to be basing this off of because it's a great book.
Okay.
But they also did a mini series of that, The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer, which is also a good view. It's a lot of fun, but I'm going to go buy the book because, you know, it's Stephen King and I freaking love
I
him.
need to read that book because
so
I've watched Rose Red
Oh, it's
and
so
I've loved it.
I've been trying to show it to my kids and finding a place to watch Rose Red. If you're listening to this and you know where I can watch Rose Red with my kids, please let me know because I can't find anywhere that's streaming it.
Please tell me too because I really want to know.
That was such a good series. So good.
It was like on cable TV.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even
Okay.
think it was on cable. I think it was on like ABC or something when it first released.
That's what I'm saying. It was like ABC, Fox, NBC, one of those.
Yeah. It was somewhere that it was
Yeah.
very, like, you could just watch the newest episode. But
Yeah. And then I never watched like the last 2 episodes. So I was like, I still don't know what fucking happens.
yeah, you need to watch that. But we're going
Yeah.
to talk about the actual Winchester Mystery House and the amazing woman behind it who, she was quite a character all on her own.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. It'll be fun.
Yes. So tune in next week.
Tune in next week. You have to hit the button.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Mimesis.
If you enjoy this podcast, by all means, tell your friends about it and give us a review on whatever platform you listen on.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks.